Now, many an athlete have complained about the psychological struggles of having to compete in the new normal induced by COVID-19. But what are some of the solutions of having to deal with self-isolation and quarantine as a sportsperson? We explore the topic in this report. The biosecure bubble has become the new standard in hosting sporting events globally, but it also presents a challenge. From cricketers the likes of England fast bowler Jofra Archer to the likes of NBA star Paul George, athletes worldwide have spoken about the mental struggles of competing in a bubble. West Indies Test captain Jason Holder is the latest to do so, as he sat down with the BBC's Alison Mitchell recently to talk about the West Indies being awarded the Cricket Writers Club Peter Smith Award.
Quite frankly, I'm getting a little tired and frustrated of the bubbles. It is hard, but when we put everything into context, it is probably the only option. It's probably the only option for us to have cricket safely. And it is hard. It is more hard mentally. It's harder mentally.
But the answer was different for teammate Jermaine Blackwood, though that may be because he hasn't been involved in as many bubbles as Holder.
It's not a big deal for me because even when I'm home, I don't really go nowhere. So I'm normally in my house. So it's not really too much on me. But for other players, it may affect them. But for me, it's all right.
It's something sports psychologist Dr. Olivia Rose Esperance has acknowledged varies from one individual to another.
For example, an extroverted individual on a whole would have significant challenges in being isolated simply because their mode of operating is external, and it's more difficult for them than an introverted person. So just put that in a sports context.
Some players use things like video games to ease the mental burden. But Dr. Rose Esperance, who was speaking on Hits 92 FM's Sports Grill, says that isn't always the solution.
Everybody would not want to play games and everybody wouldn't want to play cards because there are some people who are quite okay with not interacting as much with other people. So I can't tell you off the top of my head, okay, this is what I would suggest to them. I would have to be on site with them, to going through what they're going through and adjusting and making a customized intervention to deal with the situation.
And with no end in sight to the COVID-19 pandemic, it appears athletes and the support personnel alike will have to continue to deal with this issue for the foreseeable future.